PRP from drug to injection, master PRP preparation, facial application, and hair restoration protocols. My name is Tatiana Sarmiento. I'm a board-certified aesthetic nurse practitioner. Teaching moment. We will go through PRP preparation, facial application, treatment planning, hair restoration, and realistic outcome. Through the entire section, I will be explaining each of these. Healthcare professionals across the country ask me what PRP is. In one clear sentence, it's a concentrated portion of the patient on plasma containing platelets and platelet-associated growth factor. PRP starts with a venous draw and remains autologous through preparation. Then concentrated fraction. The centrifugation separates plasma, buffy cut, and red cells so the platelet-rich fraction can be collected. All this is an sterile and it's all autologous for the patient. There is nothing added on. How PRP is made. Here is a little sketch where you can follow. It's very easy. You draw the patient's blood, then you get the top prep. Then we go to the centrifugate. The centrifugate machine, you can have the single spin or the double spin. The double spin, it will get more blood and then get more concentrator of the growth factor than the single spin. But the single spin, you just need to use more volume in order to get the growth factor that you want to give to the patient. It's not that one is better than the other one. It's just the concentration and how long it will take how long it will take to processes the blood. Layer separation that happens with the centrifugate energy. PRP collection, it has to be collecting into the syringe, and the face scalp injection. This is very important part because you have to select. I recommend that you use a 1 cc syringe and 30 gauge and 1.5 needle in order to inject in the scalp or inject it into the face of the patient. So what's inside PRP? Understand the components and use them with a purpose. Platelets release signaling protein that support tissue repair, fibroblast activity, and collagen remodeling. Growth factor. The growth factor helps to regulate response angiogenesis. Cellular communication and extracellular matrix. Plasma acts as the fluid carrier that delivers plates and signaling molecules into the treatment area. Leukocytes, their concentration varies by preparation system and may influence inflammation, tissue response, and treatment selection. When I want to treat my skin and the hair, I would like to have no leukocytes because I don't want to create inflammation. In the sense of if you are treating patients for pain management, you may want to have some leukocytes present. What PRP generally does for the face? Position PRP as a skin quality support and no structural replacement. Support healing pathway. Plate delivery signal can support repair response after injection or microneedling. Also, you can use it after laser. So remember, this is a growth factor that will nutrient any of the treatment that you have detrimental to the skin or to the scalp to recovery faster. Encourage collagen remodeling. Often framed as an improved skin texture, tone, and luminosity over the time. This over time, that growth factor will signal your own body to create more collagen and elastin. Best for subtle outcomes. Useful when the goal is refresh skin quality, no dramatic lifting. So the common question that I get from my patient with the PRP, it's if they're going to add some volume. The PRP, it does not create instant volume. It gives them nutrition, the growth factor that your skin needs. And what it does to your skin, it makes it glow, it makes it healthy, and it stimulates collagen over time. What PRP generally does for the face, if you see here, this is before and after. Actually, you don't see any dramatic change, but you can tell that the pores of the patient are more, they look close, and then also even although the tone of the skin, the patient looks refreshed. Actually, that's what you see in the before and after of the PRP. Of course, you have to educate your patient that they don't expect to see after in the same 2 or 3 hours of the same day. They need to wait 1 to 2 weeks. Actually, 4 weeks is the best when they see that glowing into the face. What PRP does not do. The safety marketing is honest, specific, and biological realistic. Okay, what actually PRP does not do? Okay, is no filler. PRP does not reliable restore lost structural volume. You're not gonna find that with a PRP. It's not a facelift. It cannot reposition tissue whatsoever or correct laxity. Okay, no pigmented eraser. It may improve the glow, the glow and the look of the skin, looking healthy skin, but it is not going to treat melasma. It's not going to treat any pigmentation or sun exposure. Results build gradually, often require a series of treatment. It's not an instant result. Usually, it requires 3 or 4 sessions, 1 in each month, because we want to target the collagen stimulation every month to get a healthy and long-lasting result in the sense of the glow of the skin and the collagen stimulation. Hair restoration protocol. PRP for hair is a protocol, not a single syringe. It's very important that you diagnose the patient with the blood work. If the patient has androgenic alopecia, telogenic effluvium, is carrying alopecia, or medical triggers like hormones. So you wanted to run blood work with your patients. You wanted to go through the history of the patient and since when they started. Like you do your medical consultation with the patient to get a right diagnosis. Then the map. You wanted to take picture of the patient before and after. Why? Because the mark of density zones, because you wanted to register, okay, the patient when they come to you, and then because this is a long data treatment, okay, patient may forget how the line, the little, the hairline, part line will looking at. So it's very important that you comment that the first time that you see the patient, and then progressively, and they will. That's the only way that they will see actually the change, okay. So when you treat the patient, inject into the target scalp areas using consistency, spacing, depth, and volume. When you are going to inject the scalp, okay, you wanted to maintain 10 to 15 degree angle. You wanted to insert the bevel of the needle upside up, okay? And then 3 to 2 millimeters. Actually, what you need in order to get to the hair follicle is 0.7 millimeters. So you don't need to insert the entire syringe, okay? You can just give a little insertions. Actually, I like to mention to you, if you insert the bevel of the needle, that is the right depth in order to inject the PRP into the scalp. And then repeat. Use a series, then maintenance. Combine with evidence-based, adjust when appropriate. Usually, I tell my patients 3 to 4 every month sessions of PRP, and then we reassess 3 months later. And also, I mentioned it to my patient that this is a treatment that you need to repeat every year because you wanted to give the growth factor onto that follicle. It's like the right nutrition for that hair follicle that it may be weak. Map the scalp before you injecting. For example, if I want to treat, okay, the front of the scalp, I would like to make a straight line towards to the back. That way I know where I inject already and I don't go back to the same area. Okay, that's my injection technique that I will do in the front. And in the back, if you see it's a circular area, you can start injecting in the circular manners, giving it the straight of retrolinear injections in all this area, and you will, fill all this area at the same time. So that's my injections technique in the back of the hair. And right here in this, the retraction of the hair right here is the same as I did before. I go and inject towards to the midline. Realistic expectation, hair improves slowly. talk to your patient and make sure they need to give them the time to the hair grow. Okay, it takes about, the hair grows 0.5 millimeters per month. So at 0.5, you're not going to see any growth in the first month. So you pretty much mention it to the patient, they should expect to see some hair growing by month number 3. Okay, baseline photos for the first PRP, as we mentioned before. Treatment series, shedding may fluctuate, early texture or shedding change may be noticeable. The patient can still see some hair into the pillow. I always mention today, pay attention to your pillow. If you see less hair, it's like actually the PRP is responding or what is our treatment for. Density and caliber change are more realistic where the patient responds. There is right now special cameras that you can use to show the density of the hair. So some gadgets that are in the market right now that you can introduce into your practice in order to have a better respond to the patient and reassurance that the treatment is working, okay? Repeat PRP and adjust based on response progression and patient goal. Maybe some patients need more treatment, 6 treatment instead of 3. So that is an assessment that you need to do in a maintenance. Technical mistake becomes expectation, over-promising the patient, okay? That one treatment, it will take care of all the hair loss. Skipping diagnosis, okay? If you didn't do a blood work and the patient is a female that is in menopause, of course, you need to assess those in that patient. Inconsistency prep. You are using a different kind of machine, using the right concentration. The patient was dehydrated. That's something also that it make a lot of influence in the result, okay? No photos. You never took a picture of your patients in the beginning. Maybe the hair has grown, but you don't have nothing to compare. Poor aftercare, the patient, they keep using, for example, if it's a female, they use wigs and they keep using the wigs. The tension, it will break their hair. So they're never going to see that hair growing back again. No maintenance plans. The patient think that 1 or 2 treatment is enough and they don't come back to see you. If not, they come back 2 years later. Hey, it didn't work well. You didn't go for the whole process that we indicate to you.